Time is 3:01 on, what's today, December 16th, 2025. I'd like to call to order the Norwalk Board of Fire Commissioners. We have a quorum with Commissioner Dixon and Commissioner Ferguson and Mayor Rilling. We are anticipating the arrival of Commissioner DeStrouge and Commissioner Pascai. So that's called to order and the roll call has been taken care of. Next is the acceptance of the minutes of the regular meeting of Tuesday, November 18th. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion.
Okay, are there any corrections, deletions, or omissions noted?
I have none.
Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes as submitted?
Aye.
Aye. That brings us to public participation. James, is there anybody waiting to address the commission?
There are none, Mr. Mayor.
It's gonna be easy.
Next brings us to the fire chief's report. Chief, okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. Under item 1, the budget report, we've completed 5 months in the budget year through the end of November. And for the salaries account, we are at 39.87% utilized, putting us just under budget by 1.8%. And for overtime, we are at 39.77% of the budget used, putting us under by 1.9%. So we're holding steady on those 2 largest accounts, just about right on budget and a little bit under. Item 2 is a report on the Golden Hill Fire after action review. And an after action review is something that we do after every working fire. Right there. To look at how our tactics coincided with our SOPs and to take any lessons from the incident that could be helpful in training or in future fires. With 3 firefighters suffering burns at Golden Hill on November 29th, the review took on even more importance. In the days following that incident, the officers and firefighters who worked the fire were interviewed. The photos, videos, and radio transmission from the scene were examined. And in the end, Assistant Chief Reardon compiled a very comprehensive report, which was emailed to the department and to the Fire Commission for your review. It was found that although no major factors led to the injuries, there were lessons to learn from the incident, as we're always striving to do our job better and safer. For specifics, you have a copy of the report that you can refer to. As for the injured firefighters, we have been in constant contact with all 3. They are home, they're healing well, and they hope to be back to work after the first of the year. Under item 3, comments on public relations activities. Here I'd like to take the opportunity to highlight 2 recent pub ed activities that have made a big impact on the community. On December 6th, the Norwalk Fire Technical Rescue Team performed a Santa and Grinch repelling show at the Sono Holiday Extravaganza. 2 Norwalk firefighters rappelled down the side of 50 Washington Street in
Without getting caught?
Yep. And they were supported by a team of NFD rigging and safety personnel. I'd like to publicly thank Captain Whitney King, who led the team, and all those who put in the extra time and work to make that event a success. We received a lot of thank yous from the event organizers and from folks around the city who were there that wanted to express their thanks. Also, in the past week, Norwalk Firefighters Local 830 completed its 27th year of delivering gifts to area residents with Santa on the fire engine. All the money they've raised over the years has been donated to charities, with this year's money going to Tunnels to Towers. Lieutenant Anthony Papakota, firefighter Nick Lapika have organized that effort for the last several years, and I wanted to go on record thanking all those who participated in that event.
Great public outreach.
Yes, yeah, they do a great job every year. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of organization, but the community loves it, and the firefighters who participate do a great job with that. And finally, to conclude my report, on behalf of the Norwalk Fire Department, I would like to thank the fire commissioners, especially our chair, Mayor Rilling, for all the years of service to the Fire Commission and to the city. Mr. Mayor, in your last meeting as the Fire Commission chairman, we can certainly say that you are leaving the fire department stronger than you found it. Thank you for all that you've done.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. And my goal was to do everything I could to support the firefighters, the police department, first responders are the lifeblood of our community. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions for the chief? Okay, Assistant Fire Chief of Administration.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good. I have a guess.
So the record will show that at 3:06, Commissioner Pascal.
Fashionably late.
And you'll be holding menorah lighting tonight.
Sure will be. Everyone's here.
Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
Hi.
What you got?
All right.
Share.
I gotta let everyone.
Somebody's very shy, I can tell.
It's okay. I mean, who wouldn't
That's an
be?
intimidating room.
Last week. At the, show.
Yeah, right. We all went to the show. Yeah.
Okay, I'll continue. Yes. Good afternoon. I just, couple progress updates on the ongoing projects. At Station 4 for the building renovation, we have our design drawings are nearing completion. And we're working on the mechanicals right now. We have retained a construction management company. I'm happy to say it's a Norwalk-based company, AV Tucci. They won the bid, and we will be working with them during the project. They're working on the scheduling right now. As of right now, everything is on schedule to hopefully begin in the summer of next year. It's for citywide projects. We have our SCBA upgrade, our air packs. We're moving along with that. We've received all of our equipment right now. We're entering everything in our records management software. A lot of equipment we've received. We're waiting our fill station downstairs. Basically, it's the station it's the piece of equipment that fills up the bottles after fires. That had to be upgraded because our new bottles are a higher pressure bottle, which allows them to be smaller and lighter for the firefighters. So, but they're a higher pressure bottle, so we had to do that. And that's our big one that we're waiting on. That should be done anytime soon. Training, Chief Gagnon will probably cover that. We'll be on the beginning of January. And with this new upgrade, we have a new accountability system, which is called SEMS. It's basically, it has the ability to track firefighters on scene. When they turn their bottle on, what we have is, we'll have a Panasonic Toughbook. That software will register all the bottles and by ID for each position, and it will have all their air supply left in them. So we'll be able to monitor that. That'll be in the command post at all times. And somebody runs out or goes low on air, an alarm will come off. Somebody sounds an alarm on their pack. Everybody has a device that they can sound a safety alarm. Anything goes off, it'll alert them and it'll alert the position. Has the ability also we run a personnel accountability report, basically a roster to check where everybody is at any given time in a fire. It has the ability to just push a button and it runs it through the packs while keeping the radio waves open instead of doing it traditionally through the air. Has the ability also to run evacuation tones. If something happens where we're outside and we see something, any of the safety officers can grab this and they're able to activate that evacuation tone, and everybody will be able to acknowledge it. So we know instantly who hasn't acknowledged it, who has acknowledged it, and we can continue to keep the radio open. So we're really excited to start using that software, and this is a higher level of it. It's supposed to be a longer distance, a longer range. So, further inside of the building, a bigger building. So we're excited to be able to add that as far as it's just another safety tool that's going to be at the command post. And we're continuing, myself and the chiefs are continuing to update all the standard operating procedures. We're going through each one and we're working on them each. We've divvied them all up. So that's the conclusion of the report. Any questions?
I just have a question. When I went over this, what is the life expectancy of the upgrade for the scuba?
Oh, for the
Yeah,
SCBA?
I'm curious. Like,
So-
what is the capital budget? It's gonna be something you're gonna earmark in the future or?
Yeah, so-
Trial run.
We're pretty fortunate because we we hit it, NFPA changes regulations it's 10 years is usually what they are for the packs,
10
right?
years.
10 years, but we can be grandfathered in. So these packs, we hope to have well over 10 years of service. And our last packs lasted over that too.
Okay.
So with the bottles, but we waited.
It's the new,
Yeah, we bridged the gap. The manufacturer, there was a lot of different changes that were being made by the new NFPA regulations. So we waited a few more years because they were coming out with whole new air pack. And this air pack which we believe is a better air pack. There
I'm
used to be-
curious.
Yeah, no, it's good because they went through a phase where they used to be all steel and metal air packs. Then they went to plastic and they weren't holding up. So we waited for the new metal
Yeah, nice.
air packs. Yeah, and then we got it.
That's all I had.
Any problems with those air packs, and if so, how do you get notified? By the company that manufactured it, or
For the current air packs that we have.
anyone you've had?
So they're tested annually. The firefighters are testing them monthly as well. And then we also do daily checks on them. And we have annual flow tests. For our face pieces, we have annual fit testing done. So they're constantly being maintained and monitored. And anything that we have, we send them out if we need to. We also have people on site. We have firefighters that are actually certified to repair our air packs.
The reason I asked was years ago, the Air Force sent a bulletin around all bases that there was a problem with the Scott air packs at that time.
Yes, we got that.
You got that? Excellent. I went downtown to the local fire department and they hadn't received it yet. That was the reason I asked.
Yes, and so there was a face piece issue that we had years ago, and in the interim, we actually replaced our face pieces because of that issue. Yeah, they'll send out a safety notice to us.
That's about 1973, something like that.
Wow.
Ours was, what was that last safety one? It wasn't,
Who was born then?
12 years ago. I was not.
but about 12 years ago, about 12 years ago, we did get a similar safety issue, and it was the face piece.
Commissioner, we actually were discussing this fire, Golden Hill Street the other day. If the firefighters had that older face piece on, we think it would have been a lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I'm sure.
the upgraded the old ones were 500 degrees, they'd actually melt. And the newer ones, are upwards of 850.
Are we gonna discuss that after I should work down the road here before the meeting's over?
We could,
No, I mean, rather than just, introduce the fact that it was there, we're gonna go through the report itself.
Sure.
Okay, good.
The mayor wants, you want to put that in under, new world business?
That's that.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, brings us to Assistant Fire Chief of Operations, Assistant Chief Bruce.
there's some overlap between Chief Conti and Chief McCabe on some things, but anyhow, November, we had 711 calls for the entire month. It averaged out to about 23.7 per day. New fire apparatus or just ongoing information on fire apparatus. The new command vehicle has arrived. It's being worked on across the street right now. It has updated communications, including the SEM system that Chief Conti talked about. It's just modern technology. It'll help support the incident commander and the chief staff, myself, Chief Conti, Chief Gagny, and Chief McCabe will get on scene to build out the incident command system better. The new tactical support vehicle is in service. That's responded to, I think, 3 calls so far. It has on-scene support equipment for prolonged incidents, breathing air compressor, firefighter rehab equipment, just the general bulk equipment that we can't fit on the day-to-day ladders and rescue truck and the engines as well. So basically it just provides more equipment that we wouldn't be able to get to the scene initially that we can bring to the scene later on to support the incident better. New ladder truck is in the planning process. We have the money in this capital budget year to purchase it. So we just had initial meetings on the specifications. We have a small committee of 4 2 captains, 2 firefighters, myself, and the apparatus maintenance head mechanic and the assistant mechanic, just to get from the details of what the guys want in the compartments all the way up to what's under the hood of the truck. So we're trying to put together a robust group of people that can get us the best apparatus that we need. Going on to operations, this overlaps with what Chief was discussing. The Santa and the Grinch rappel operation went very well. If anyone got to go to the holiday extravaganza, just really proud of the crews that did that. It was actually 150 feet of a rappel off the side of the building. They choreographed event between Santa and the Grinch, passing a gift back and forth. Not only was it a good chance for the crews to have confidence in what they trained for and showcase their skills, but it also had community engagement, gave them morale and ownership and all those positive qualities that, you know, the team got to exercise and show that the worth of it is just, you know, worth training on for, you know, just to show it off and also know that you can do it when the time rises and the crowd's there to perform. So it's a good thing. We added a new procedure. Chief Conti had mentioned we're updating procedures as we go. One of the things that we did add, and I must note Chief Gagny was very instrumental in bringing this to us, is roof rope rescue. And what that is these Avalon type large buildings that don't really have access to all the windows for ladders, ground ladders or aerial ladders, or even buildings like Washington Street where you have narrow alleyways where you can't really get the ladder in between in a good position, or even some buildings off of Wall Street that have the Norwalk River in the back, basically areas you can't get a ladder to. Well, if there's a victim at that window, what do? Do they jump? There's no ladder. Maybe the interior stairs are cut off. You know, that's a common factor that happens. So we have a technique now where crews go to the roof, they utilize anchor points on the roof, or they can even utilize their buddy as an anchor point, and they rappel over the side of the building, grab the victim and be lowered down to the ground. And now that equipment, we've all trained on it. We have a procedure for it and it's going in service as we speak. So it's a nice piece of equipment that always concerned us of how, you know, someone's trapped in a spot, how do we get to them if there's no way to get to them conventionally? So now we have this method in place. So that was a great job by Chief Gagny there. Update on marine operations. MU 229, the Harry Rilling, is proven to be very seaworthy. Crews have completed the initial training. It'll get relocated to Cove Marina if there's a deep freeze, just to get it further out. Easy to get out into the water if needed. Marine 238 is out of service for the winter for just some annual service, undercoating that's happening right now and a few other things. So that should be, the bigger boat should be back in service in the early spring. And going on to the next point, notable incidents. On Willard Road, we had an apartment building, a small kitchen fire. One civilian was transported for smoke inhalation, but was released in good health. We had a serious car accident, Van Zandt Street at East Avenue. It was a single vehicle versus a stone wall. The driver required extrication. That was a quick extrication. Crews did a good job, had the person out in under 5 minutes. Unfortunately, the driver did succumb later to injuries sustained in the crash. Just to kind of Chief McCabe already talked about Golden Hill Street fire. Just to sprinkle a little more information on that, it was an occupied multifamily house. There was over 12 people we found to be living in the house. It was a rapidly advancing fire. One occupant during the operation was actually located by the rescue crew in the basement and assisted out of the building. The conditions on the first floor really deteriorated rapidly. The crews experienced a high heat while they're doing a search for other victims. None were found, thankfully. Five firefighters were transferred to the hospital. 3 of them treated for second-degree burns and released that night. 2 of them should be returning within the next 2 weeks. One of them that is actually at the doctor now, and one will be just slightly longer, maybe a few more months. But crews did a good job under very difficult conditions, and they did recognize conditions were deteriorating and got out. They got out as quick as they could. 2 more incidents that happened. New Canaan, we sent engine 1 and R3 mutual aid for a second floor and attic fire. We got a good report from their chief saying that our crews did a good job and he was appreciative of us sending the help to that fire. And the last incident was 6 Wilton Avenue. It's a large vacant manufacturing building. First arriving companies, as they were stretching their hose line in, they did hear electrical arcing noise right inside the doorway, and that building we're pretty guarded to begin with, just because it's, you know, it's never certain that it's vacant. There could be a vagrant there, so we always want to treat and search all buildings within safety of our personnel. But when they opened the front door, they did hear a large amount of electrical arcing. So the first company officer, brand new lieutenant, we just promoted a month ago, was heads up and said, Spidey senses went off and said, and he took a pause, stepped back, and realized that if they kept on stretching in, there was already water on the ground, they probably would have all gotten shocked. So he was heads up, gave that radio transmission and the IC first on scene. You know, call an exterior attack, stand by, let's get the power cut off to the building before we go further. So those two interactions there were very key in preventing, our crews from, you know, getting put in hard way. So heads up to that crew. At this time, this concludes the operations report for the month.
Good report. About 4 or 5 calls a day, averaging more than in the past year or two.
Yeah. Getting busy.
Any questions from the commission?
Do we have any sense why there's been such an uptick? I mean, this is a lot of activity.
There's just more population, more people. You know, living,
And like the empty building on Wilson Avenue, like.
Yeah, well, there's a fire there about 15 years ago. It's actually up for sale. It's a large manufactured vacant building that hasn't been, you know, it's from the 1940s and you know, maybe get sold at some point and change the occupancies, but for now it's you know, the cause of that was that's released, that's
Yeah,
electrical in nature
there
and-
was a high voltage box inside the building. And the property manager believes that there was infestation of rodents, raccoons, rats, stuff like that, that were kind of overcoming the building and probably chewing on some utilities in there. It hasn't been properly maintained over the years. The building has been vacant since 2019. So it's kind of minimally vacant, minimally maintained, I should say. And the suppression system has been broken, it was out of service, so they did supply the FEC, which did put a majority of the fire out, but being that it was vacant, not maintained, there was a bunch of pipes broken inside the facility. Yeah.
Thank you.
well,
Any other questions? Okay, good segue into the fire marshal's report, fire marshal Donahue.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Commissioner. Fire Marshal's Office activity summary for the month of November. The total number of inspections for the month of November were 225 properties with 6 mega multi-sites for a total of 660 units. The number is a little skewed because we're going through a online submission process right now, so our inspections are a little bit off, our plans were a little bit off, and our public fire and life safety education events are up too, because some stuff that was submitted weren't completed by the time Linda got the reports. Just so if you guys see a little bit more numbers, just understand why. We had 2 smoke detector requests, evaluation installations. We reviewed 26 fire and life safety plans for a total number of $1,730. We have 1 liquor license renewal for $65. The total income for the month of November was $1,795. During the month of November, the fire marshal's office had a total of 16 investigations. 10 were fires, 6 were code hazard related issues. Like I had stated, we had 6 fire and life safety club ed events. During this month, Deputy Fire Marshal Kelly continued to provide 6 more educational events for the Fall Safety Series at the Star Vocational Center here at headquarters and at the facility on Wilkett Avenue. Topics fell under 911 calls and emergency communications, meet your firefighter friends, practice drills with visual support, personal safety and community helpers, identify safety signs in your community. These were all held at Station 2 or the Star Center on Wilkett Avenue. Our 3 newly promoted deputy fire marshals all completed and passed the fire code portion of the state fire marshal's office. They are currently being trained with the new software for code enforcement and inspections. They're currently in class for Fire and Life Safety Public Educator 1. After Fire and Life Safety Public Educator 1, they will be taking a basic online course for Fire and Life Safety Plan Review. In February, they will start the fire investigation portion of the State Fire Marshal's Office. Our office had 3 companies donate smoke detectors to help protect our community. As Commissioner Ferguson was asking about last month, these companies were CamSan Electrical out of Stanford, KBE Building Corp. They're currently the GCs for 467 West Avenue, the Piper, and Home Depot. Home Depot donated 50, KBE donated 20, and CamSan donated 20, which helps out. We provide these smoke detectors, they're 10-year lithium ion, to the community free of charge and free of installation.
That's great.
Bart does a quick, overview of the report. Any questions?
And just one last, meeting that we had, there was an incident that occurred at St. Paul's on the Green.
Yes,
Where an individual tried to get out, was unable to do so.
yes. I knew someone was gonna ask
You were
that.
there.
The mayor and I believe you brought that up last month. So they were called, it is corrected. It has been rectified. I did not get by there to make sure it was done, but I was notified that it is
Yeah,
corrected.
excellent, thank you.
Thank you. No problem. Thank you.
It's safe to go back.
Yes.
That's what you know.
I was seated, I didn't have any problems getting out after the ceremony was over, but glad you got that clarified and fixed.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
That'll bring us to emergency management, Mr. Luca.
Great, thank you. So one item of note, we are almost finished with the EOC and conference room upgrades. So you can see one of the devices and then the new device, larger TV up here, upgrades in the small conference room. And then in the EOC, a few replacements and overall tech upgrades. We think we may have had a critter fight through some of the old fiber wire. So everything should be done tomorrow. I think they're gonna rerun some of the fiber cables. And then we'll do some training and kind of go from there. So we are 95% finished with that project. But should have everything in place by the end of the year. And again, mostly it'll be after this, the training components, again, new devices. So it's definitely kind of getting into the modern era a little bit more with our meeting options. I think then there's mention of the Golden Hill Fire, so worked with Red Cross to provide fire victims assistance, referrals to those families. And obviously winter storm and winter weather, the governor has activated the cold weather protocols a couple times already. And then obviously this weekend, we had our first accumulating snow. So we've done some follow-up conversations with Public Works and the school district. This morning, we'll have a couple more follow-ups. And each time, again, we always make changes here and there. But for the most part, again, everything went well. Social media, we always kind of monitor that for the likes and comments. So again, really no major issues. But we'll do some follow-ups on a little bit of coordination with the school district for some of the clearance of parking lots and just communication. That's it.
Whose roads weren't plowed 2 minutes after the.
Yeah.
Is that more DPW, not the school system? Do they maintain the school parking lots? DPW, is that more of them or the Board of Ed?
It's a mix.
They
Yeah.
back and forth?
So the school, Public Works will do the first sweep. And then school district will do the sidewalks and some of the other spaces. And usually Public Works will do about 2 or 3 sweeps. So it's just kind of coordinating the timing. It takes about 3.5 hours just to clear Brian McMahon's parking lot. So yeah, it's that managing expectations was the goal of this morning's meeting.
Plus we have, I think, 4 new drivers.
Yeah.
So it's, just a little bit not used to it yet, but, once they get used to the routes and everything and become a little bit more, in tune with how they do it, it'll pick up a little bit. But I didn't really get too many complaints. I got, maybe 2 or 3. They were just, minor questions, yeah.
I keep offering to drive the plow truck and for some reason they will not let me.
Well, whatever video
One of
you guys
these years.
posted on social media of like that huge hall with all of the salt trucks lining up and going out, like
Vanessa did that, yeah.
it was really impressive. Things look good in my neighborhood.
Thank you, let her know. Thank you.
That'll bring us to Deputy Chief Gagny, training division.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just so you know, the completed training activities and the current training activities are going to overlap just slightly, just due to the type of training we were doing this month. Our initial roof rope rescue training that Chief Reardon mentioned is complete. We went through the entire department. Everybody on the department went through it. It took about a week and a half to get everybody through that. And with current training activities, they're reviewing that for the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, just because it is such a low frequency event for us. We want to make sure that everybody's very familiar with the gear and the procedures. So they're doing that, and while they're not doing that, they're doing company training, and for that, we mean, pulling lines, searching for the rescue company, our basic everyday activities that we need to do. So they're doing a little bit of both this month, going back and forth, while somebody's doing roof rope rescue, somebody else is doing company training, and vice versa. So our driver operator training is always ongoing. I didn't mention that in the last couple, and I figured that was a good time to mention it now, just because we have a little bit lighter topics than we did in the past. Every Saturday and Sunday, we have on the schedule for driver operator training. So people learning how to drive the apparatus, as well as people who already know how to drive the apparatus, but need to know how to use it. So that's an ongoing thing we do every single month. So I just wanted to mention that here. Some of our upcoming training activities, Norwalk Hospital is scheduled for demo, and we got permission to use that building, that vacant part of their building. It's clearing their legal department this week. They have all of our paperwork in there and all of the sign-offs. I'm just waiting for legal to let us know what we can do and what we can't do in the structure. So as soon as I get that, we're going to be scheduling some training there, most likely some standpipe training for the engine companies. Starting in January, we have our EMS refresher coming up, which is a big undertaking. It lasts about a month and a half, so it'll end around the end of February. And most of the department is going to be going through EMT and EMR refresher training during that time. In the beginning of January, though, we do have that new SCBA training. Two of our members who are, as Chief Conti mentioned, they pretty much run that program for us, that SCBA program for us. And they put together a PowerPoint. Some of the equipment is a little bit different than what we have now. The regulators are a little bit different. So we just want to make sure that everybody's very familiar with it before they have to wear it in an IDLH environment. So they're going to be doing that. And then as soon as we get that upgrade, we'll be rolling those out. And that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Not a question, but a comment. I had the opportunity to attend 79 Glover.
Oh, yes.
They do exercise out there, and the coordination between the fire department, the police department, and the EMS was outstanding, up to and including the number of leadership individuals that were there. I believe I saw all three of the deputy police officials at that activity, plus the majority of you. And EMS even had a lieutenant on board to make sure they were doing it. And it kind of parallels the stuff that I was able to witness, parallels what this after action report references. And that is the fact that they were looking underneath cabinets, like a kitchen cabinet. They would open the doors to make sure there wasn't a small child in there or the perp that they were trying to excavate or eradicate from the building. But the coordination across the board was outstanding. And I strongly believe, as I'm sure you all do, that that type of training will take place and continue if you ever have to do it for real. Because you did an outstanding job in that regard. I really enjoyed that.
It's always said that during a crisis, everything reverts to the familiar.
Yes, sir.
So if you're trained and you go through it over and over again, we're always talking about how impressed we are with all the training that goes on in the fire department and the police department. It just goes ongoing all the time. And really, I don't know if other departments do it as frequently and as well as we do, but to be congratulated. A lot of good training.
Thank you. Well, there's one addendum to that, and the fact that there was a young man from another department, the fire department, that attended the training. And he was quite appreciative of the coordination that existed, because he said in his city, the police department didn't want to talk to the fire department at all, correct?
Yeah, Stratford.
But-
Yeah.
Might have been like
Not going record.
several years ago. It might have been the same thing.
We're better. We're much better. Much better now.
But anyway, kudos to everyone involved with that.
Thank you.
It's outstanding. Thank you very much. Right.
Okay, local 830 has no items on the agenda, no correspondence. We'll need now there's an executive session under personnel to go into executive session to review the end of a disciplinary probationary period. I need a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion.
Motion made, all in favor?
Sure.
Okay, all in favor, we are in executive session at 3:35. We have to have. Okay, the time is 3:43. We are out of executive session. During executive session, we had a discussion on the probationary period of Lieutenant Marr. During that discussion, there were no motions made, no votes were taken. And now we're back in public session. Chief, you have a recommendation?
Our recommendation is to take Lieutenant Marr off of probation and return him to normal duty status.
Do I have a motion from the commission?
Yes. Yes, move to,
So who's making the motion?
I don't know.
I'll make the motion. List these revenues, return it to normal status.
Immediately.
Today,
January
Effective
1st.
1/1/26,
I'm sorry?
First of the year,
the first of the year.
January 1st,
Okay.
2026.
2026,
Correct.
correct.
oh, that's when it will come off. Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed, abstention, motion carries. Congratulations to Lieutenant Marr for completing his probationary period. And hopefully he'll continue on in the fashion that he has and fashion that's expected of the high standards of the Norwalk Fire Department. That brings us to the old business. There are no old business items. I think under new business, Commissioner Dixon wanted an update, so we'll need to vote to bring that onto the new business section.
Sure.
So we need, you want an update on the after action report.
Yeah.
So we need a motion to bring that in.
We'll make a motion to add a new item from Commissioner Howard to new business.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Chief, or whoever.
Chief Reardon just went to get a copy or two of the actual report. I know you received some. Commissioner, did you bring specific questions with you as far as the review?
Yeah, some
Okay.
questions, but one additional thing that popped up when, as I read the report, and the actual cause of that fire was that plastic bin being put on top of the stove. And, my first thought process was, what method could you utilize to get this out to the community? Social media, and infinitum. But there's another good trigger that would really bring this to a head quite easily from personal experience. School visits. I know you do a lot of those. And I know you don't always hear that the information you provide to the children is adhered to. But I can tell you it is. Personal experience to a degree. I referenced this earlier on with, he's out right now. But the fact that, Irene's mother was visiting and she had put something in the oven. It's out of plastic and turned the oven on and forgot that it was in there. And, smoke detectors went off and everything else was happening. And, all of a sudden, there's a voice that says, "We have to get out of the house, call 911, do this, do that," right in sequence to what he was taught at that particular time. The humorous part about this to a degree is Irene looked over and noticed his jacket was kind of puffy. And she said, "What was this? I'm not taking any chances with my toys." But at least he knew the step by step. And the school visits you do, that truck that we always have, the smoke detection thing and stuff like that, would be another good place possibly to bring that up so the individuals could have a rough idea of what can cause a fire. Because I think one of you mentioned earlier, you see a pizza box on top of the stove, which happens frequently, I guess. It's quite easy to move that kind of stuff out. Another thing that I happen to notice, let me see what else I got down here.
Just 1 second. I noticed that Commissioner DeStrouge has joined us. I didn't see what time you came in. Do you recall what time you came in, Commissioner?
Just at 3:44.
Okay, so let the record reflect that at 3:44, Commissioner DeStrouge has joined us. Thank you.
Excellent. One of the things that I've noticed anytime I see an EMS vehicle out and about, there's always a fire truck in the vicinity, correct? To assist. Is the reverse of that true?
We do have EMS respond to our fires as a matter of course, yes.
And were they there with this one on?
Yeah, so they'll be there on the initial ticket, and then they'll stand by during the structure
Okay,
fire, in case anione's injured until they're released by the incident commander.
I didn't pick that up. I also noticed some of the photographs and stuff in here, and plus I believe I spoke with chief relevant to what transpired with the individuals that were injured. what's the limit of the fire jacket they wear in temperatures? Is there, how hot can it get before that thing, it won't melt probably, but at least in some cases, as in this one, in some things disintegrated. We had flight suits that used to be able to take it up to about 500 degrees, but a cigarette would burn a hole in the Novex flight suit. And that's understandable, a little over 1,000 degrees is where that thing possibly is at the very tip of a cigarette. But I was just curious what did that. And then the deeper I got into this, I saw where one sleeve was down.
Yeah.
Is that because of the thread?
It's because the seam let go, so the seam between the sleeve and the jacket, the stitching would have burned and failed, which caused the sleeve to separate from the garment.
Okay.
And that's actually a very high temperature. That's one of the strongest seams on the coat. And even in UL testing, that seam doesn't fail. So that temperature, whatever the temperature was that coat experienced, was beyond even what the coats are tested to.
Okay.
So the good thing is that the protective equipment did its job, even though you could say that it failed and wasn't able to be used again. During that process, it protected the firefighters from much more serious injuries.
And if there were repairs required for that particular shoulder, let's just say it happens to separate for some reason, it's a threading that goes in there, the same type that the manufacturer used in order to get that accomplished.
Yes, and that for something that severe, like the turnout gear that those firefighters were using, that'll be disposed of. We won't even try to repair it because it's just been too compromised by heat, so we'll issue them new equipment. The temperature, Chief Reardon will know, the temperature that the PPE is actually designed to withstand in testing, do you know what the exact temperature?
So a couple different things. So the like thermal degradation, so like when that fiber will begin to fail, like a sudden onset of heat, 950 degrees, because we have a PBI material. So 950 is when it starts to break apart. At that point, it's just duration and intensity. How is it 950 spike or is it 950 sustain, or does it go up to 1,200 degrees? But 950 is when that thread starts to actually break apart. And what you see, Chief Gaddy's printed some copies, is typically the failure point is in the seam and the stitching, not where the material is. That's kind of where that failure point tends to happen, just because it's, so that there's Kevlar in the gear, but not in that stitching area. You can't sew static Kevlar. So it's that seam that breaks open first.
And I'm sure those protective pieces of equipment are designed not to melt.
Yeah.
Is that correct? So they don't stick to your skin and stuff like that.
Yeah, and on the inside, after that outer shell, you have a thermal liner, which is, provides the insulation from the radiant heat, and then a moisture barrier, which prevents the steam from, the fire that's being extinguished with water from penetrating your body, and then the hot fire gases too. So there's like 3 layers that work together there.
And was that the result of that window that broke, that created the draft as they were?
Correct, as you read in the report, they had a window that failed behind the hose team just as they were making entry. And fire likes fresh air, so the superheated gases and smoke that were already at the ceiling vented through that window, and that caused those superheated gases and smoke to turn to fire above their heads.
And even though the occupants of that building said everybody was out, your follow-ups quite possibly, and actually did save potentially one person from not being able to come out.
Yeah, we definitely, as great as those reports are, sometimes it could be, hey, so-and-so's on the 2nd floor, it's the, go down the hallway, it's the 2nd bedroom on the left, and you're like, great, we're gonna target that area for a search.
Sure.
But other times in a multi-family home like this, there's 3 different occupants, there's a basement apartment, a 1st floor, and then a 2nd floor and 3rd floor apartment. They don't typically, it's not as credible to know, hey, is everyone out of the house? Yeah, everyone from my family's out of the house. So we don't really, we take them into consideration, but we don't take their word saying everyone's out. We still need to do an aggressive search to clear the house for ourselves.
That kind of parallels what I witnessed during that Glover. Looking underneath shelves and drawers and everything. It's outstanding. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Other questions? So there might be some after you review the report. Like a very comprehensive and well-done report.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always something to be learned, from every incident, and, it's our job to get better.
What's really good is that annually, if you have a 3 unit or more, there are annual touches these multi-family homes. And that's the time that they can identify potential hazards or obstructions, so we do try to have kind of quick tell.
And even, our engine company, going into a single family house for a medical emergency, our crews are pretty good about being like, hey, this, this is an inspected property, but you might not want to put the propane tank in this location, but you might want to have the egress cleared, you should have smoke and CO detectors. So they're good about it, but they're also for the safety of the residents trying to educate as they go, because there's really no jurisdiction there to inspect, so at least can educate if possible.
Any other questions in reference to the report?
It's outstanding.
If you do have any others as you review it, of course, you can reach out by phone or email. We'll be happy to discuss it.
So that looks like that is the end of the agenda. The next meeting is Tuesday, January 20th, when Mayor Barbara Smith will be here or on Zoom. Just wanted to, again, since this is my last meeting, to say thank you. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve what I consider to be the finest fire department in the entire country. Gentlemen and ladies who are protecting the city every day, doing an amazing job, and it's much appreciated. I think all of us can see the professionalism on a day-to-day basis. We have the luxury that many other people don't. They don't realize that all you do is just put the red stuff out with the white wet stuff, right? That's what I said. Red stuff with the wet stuff. But you do so much more than that in your training, your professionalism, your dedication to the community, your outreach to the community, and it's really quite gratifying for us as the police commission to see that, and for being the fire commission chair for 12 years and police commission chair for 12 years. So I guess I get it mixed up sometimes. But I also want to thank the commissioners. Reverend Scrooge, I think you've been here with me the whole time from the very beginning.
That is correct. And it has been an honor serving with you, and I apologize for the background noise. We're at the airport waiting to board our plane. But it has been an honor, not just serving with you, but representing our finest men and women of the Norwalk Fire Department. None of us know if we're going to be follow it up and continuing on the commission, but as however long our new mayor wishes to have us on board, we are here to support her work and continue the work that the Norwalk Fire Department is doing to protect our city, our property, and our people. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for inviting me to be part of this fine organization.
Dixon, Ferguson, and Pasquine, who came on at periods of time throughout the tenure, but again, thank you for your service. I know that you give up your time, maybe only once a month, but also for other things, going to training and watching what's going on, and being interested in taking an active part in the fire department, which again is something to your credit. I'm sure the men and women of the fire department. And one of the things I said pretty much early on, we're gonna get some women firefighters. We have them now, and it's been the first time, and I think they've proven themselves. I know Kat has done, and now she's a lieutenant now, right? And she's done a great job, and yeah. So it's been, like I said, a real honor, and I want to thank police union, fire. Geez, I did it again. Fire union for working hard to provide benefits and protection for the men and women of the fire department and people. I'm a firm believer in unions. They do a lot of good. They do a lot of protection. Not that the fire department here, you need to worry about that too much, because I know that all the ranking officers are doing everything they can to provide everything they can for the men and women who serve the fire department. So I think we've accomplished a lot over the past 12 years. We've done quite a bit. And again, like I said, it's been an honor. So with that, I can take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thanks, Saturday.